How do we start?
This was a hard one.
Hi, and welcome to Luxe Vagabonds. This is a special episode because we are commemorating the loss of Queen Elizabeth II.
We've been hoping to share quite a bit of our London and European journey over the last year, but this was very important to us to make sure that we commemorate especially the instances we were able to have in the last year that involved the Queen.
We got to be so lucky because we have been here for a big portion of the year, which has been an amazing thing. In and out, we've been to other countries as well, so we have lots of things to share with you. But we were able to be here for the Jubilee, which was extraordinary. We got to go firstly to the Windsor Horse Show, and that is held at Windsor Castle, which was where the Queen was living. And what an amazing experience. What we didn't know, we went on the final night. What we didn't realize is there was a member of the royal family that was going to be at every single night. It ran for 4 nights. And the final night was the night the Queen was there. We had seats right in the center, right in the front, right next to the stage, next to Tom Cruise and Keala Settle and all of these amazing people that were there presenting. And literally, Queen Elizabeth was right across the way from us, which was extraordinary. So we loved it.
Yes, many of the reporters and journalists in the last couple of days have been talking about how even just seeing Queen Elizabeth II made you feel like you actually met her and that you got to at least have that small interaction with her. And
which is so true. It's so true.
We very much feel that way having got to see her at the horse show.
What was amazing for us too was we knew she was over on the royal side, so it's an enormous yard. But she was across the way, so we could see her. We knew it was her, there was a light on her. At the end of it, she got into her car and we thought, well, that's it, she's gone. She went around the entire perimeter of the ring at a very slow pace, window open, looking out of the window, smiling at us. So we literally were within 12 feet of the Queen, which was amazing. And it does, yes, we didn't say hello, we didn't shake her hand, but we feel like we were with her because she was so excited to be there, excited to wave. She was waving to all of us. It was amazing. And then we got to go to the Jubilee Concert, which was incredible on the Mall, and be able to experience that and the
pomp and circumstance and the stages and the music. I mean, just the amount of preparation and effort and celebration that went into the Jubilee was just fascinating to be a part of.
And what they showed publicly was what was going on right in the center, right outside Buckingham, but they had huge TV screens all the way down the Mall.
When humankind focuses its mind, anything is possible. It's my firm hope that my grandmother's words are as true in 70 years' time as they are tonight. That as nations we come together in common cause, because then there is always room for hope.
In the parks on both sides, no matter where you were, you had a view of the concert, and a great view of the concert, and amazing sound.
Thank you to you, Your Majesty. I'm so proud and pleased to be here to share this evening with you. And I know you all feel the same, yes? Thank you, thank you, thank you. With all of our love, say it loud, thank you!
So we kept going in and out. We were in the park, relaxing under a tree and chilling out and enjoying it on the big screens. We could hear it live, we could hear it on the screens. And then we'd go into the mall for like certain pieces that were like, oh my God, we've got to see that and see it live. Because, you know, you can see right up to Buckingham Palace with the projections.
Well, and especially for the ending, because this concert lasted quite a bit of time.
It was long.
We saw the sun go down, and of course, the ending of that Jubilee celebration concert was this beautiful show above Buckingham with the drones and the.
It certainly rivaled any
Disney spectacular that you see at the Disney
Yeah.
theme park. So it was absolutely fantastic.
And what you saw on the TV with the drones is, I'm very sorry for those you weren't there, it was nothing compared to what it was live.
Yeah.
It really was beyond anything I've ever experienced in my life. So
We're sharing some footage with you now, but it just does not do justice to what we actually saw there.
It really doesn't. We also went with our dear friends Kevin and Andy. We actually couldn't get onto the mall. The mall was so overloaded with people that we got stuck in this place that I was like, oh my God, we're not going to see anything. Kevin and Andy came up with the best idea. They were like, let's go to the National Theater. We'll go up to the roof. We can see the fly past.
Yes, it was really a great idea. We couldn't have planned that day any better, really. I mean, to want to be so up close and be able to be as close as possible to the Queen and the royal family would not have allowed us at all to get the experience we got by moving over to the National. So it was a very, very cool experience. We were not able to see the royal family that day, but we were able to see this grand spectacular of the air show that happened that day.
Right. So for those of you who don't know, the National Theater is on the Thames, and they essentially came up from the east. All the planes came in from the east, flew literally over the Thames, because the Thames is a big snake. They flew over the Thames directly where we were at the National, so they literally were flying right in front of us, which was amazing, and then on to Buckingham Palace and straight across. So we were where they were when they turned on the smoke, the red, white, and blue smoke. We were there seeing every single one of them coming in, coming over us, so we could not have had a better spot. I don't think the people standing in front of Buckingham had the views that we had. And we felt like, since we had just seen the Queen in person at the Horse Show within feet. I also should mention the night of the concert then, but we went for these amazing drinks at this very glamorous place that is not too far from Buckingham Palace. And suddenly one of the person that we were with said, "Is that Prince William?" And there he was right in front of us. So Jubilee week, we got the Queen up close. We got to have drinks pretty much with Prince William, at least in the same place, which was kind of cool. He was very laid back. He's very tall, just as beautifully looks on camera. I mean, it was very, very cool. So I just feel like for us, the Jubilee was pretty much everything that we were hoping for it to be.
And a pinnacle of, I mean, you have had a connection to British history your entire life.
I have, yeah.
So to experience that, knowing that the Queen was advanced in age and we didn't know how much longer we were going to have with her.
Yeah.
It was the experience one could only hope for.
Yeah, and she was so happy the entire time. That was the great, to see her smile and the joy on her face. You know, she really, it was an amazing thing. And we didn't know how long she would last. 96 years old. At 96, it's anybody's guess in terms of longevity. Prince Philip had lived to 99. Her mother had lived to quite an advanced age, a little bit older than that as well. And so we didn't know if we had another few years with the Queen. My personal belief is that without Philip, things were just not quite as sweet, and she didn't have that steadfast person that she loved so much by her side. And you hear of people dying of broken hearts, that there's something sort of beautifully romantic about that story ending, you know, within a year of each other. She was so dedicated to her role as monarch, and I think it really hurt her, and it was a personal disappointment that when her physicality would get in the way of her being able to go to the events that she was supposed to be at and to serve in her role, I don't know that she would have been happy retiring.
Well, the same thing happened with your own grandmother.
Yeah.
When she got into 98, 99, and she couldn't garden anymore. She couldn't do the things she loved anymore. It became a very difficult life because it's not really a life anymore.
It isn't. She was ready to go, and she often said she lived the life she wanted to live. She was ready to go. And
since Queen Elizabeth, at the age of 21, stated that she was going to dedicate her life to service, no matter how short or long her life was, I think it was quite poetic that she went right after she fulfilled some of her last duties by installing the new prime minister and going through some of those last steps.
Yeah.
And as you stated, it seemed like she was moving into that point where she was having to retreat from so many of her duties that it just wasn't going to fulfill the promise that she made anymore. And it seemed like it was just all perfectly Shakespearean and written the way
it really was.
Real life occurred the way that it just seems like it was meant for the history book.
As an American, it's something we don't have in the States. We are changing governments all the time, but there is nothing that's as steadfast, always there. In Britain, the United Kingdom, they have that. That royal family is there. The Queen died, her son takes over. When he's gone, William will take over, and there is always that something to hold on to.
It's been very interesting listening to people on the telly here the past couple of days, many of whom are saying, I'm not a dedicated and true royalist, yet I still feel this profound sense of what this institution is about. Everyone has been talking about the consistency and the fact that Queen Elizabeth, for many of us, has always been there. And so it's so odd to be thinking about the fact that she's not anymore. I mean, we can all say that we will remember where we were. We unfortunately have been tied to the apartment the past couple of days because of my work and things.
Yeah, we're eager to get out. We're going out later.
We are very excited this weekend to partake in some of the events that are happening around, and over the next week we will be part of be part of the funeral processions and lying in state. We will try to get to as many of those events as we can and share them with you. We are also preparing to leave to go back to the States to fill out all of our visa paperwork so that we can have a longer term stay here for some of the things we're working on, and we'll certainly share that process and that experience with you.
We have had also some extraordinary things unfolding with the shows that we're working on.
Mm-hmm. And we'll go much more into that in a different episode. But for where we are today and what we are commemorating and what we are really thinking about through these days, we want to say a huge condolences to the royal family and everyone who was very close to the Queen. I want to say rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth II.
And I want to say personally thank you to Queen Elizabeth II. We are Americans, obviously, so she is not our monarch technically, but I feel like she was queen of the world. I feel like her boundaries went so far beyond just the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. During COVID, when things in the States were so politically insane and it was nothing but hatred and battle, we could turn to watch Queen Elizabeth talking at Christmas, to hear her and her message of hope with COVID. We don't have that in the States. We have nothing but battles. So here, this beautiful monarch who cares about the people, I feel like as much as we may have had a revolution and broken away from the UK, she's still our queen as well in many ways. And that's very special. So a huge thank you to Queen Elizabeth for a lifetime. It's been an extraordinary reign. We're going to miss her greatly, but I don't feel like she's gone. I feel like she will live on in this culture and in this country and in the spirit of this country and in the spirit of her family. So a lot of tears this week. It's been very sad. I have cried, I can't say how many times. It's
been far too, not too much. It's been quite a bit, but all rightfully so.
Rightfully so, and it's been an honor to be here and to witness all of these amazing progressions through history and the changeover, which is such an ancient tradition, to watching it happen. And I think the last thing that I will say is it was amazing to watch over the years, loving the monarchy and loving the royal family, to see Charles as Prince Charles in that personality that he was. And something changed yesterday when we saw him on the TV going to the plane. The first time we saw him after she was gone, he was different. It was King Charles, and something has transformed in him, and it's an amazing thing to see. So here we are.
So finally, then we end with God Save the King.
God Save the King.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.